Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominick, creator of businessmiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 91. Flip the switch. In a recent podcast, I shared with you how to identify when you are in shame and the highly sensitive shadow of overprotection. In this podcast, you will now learn how that awareness can turn into a powerful choice point where you can literally change how your body is feeling and how your mind is thinking. You are not a slave to your highly sensitive shadows. You just need to learn how to flip the switch. And very similar to how I said that your shadows are not bad, but they are a signal. The same for your resistance, the same for your shame, the same for overprotection and the shame shields. At any moment within those experiences, that is your choice point. And so the moment you are aware, then you have access to understanding. And the moment you understand, you have the power to choose differently. And that's why it's a choice point. So let's look at that moment. What is happening there? The superego voice starts to kick in. What can we do? So, if the idea that your shadows aren't bad was a surprise, what I'm about to say next is going to be a slap down revelation. The superego voice is actually telling the truth. Deep breath in and let it out. So, what's off is how the superego voice is choosing to communicate. What's off is the way the superego voice is going about the communication. And of course, what's also off is that the superego voice's intention is to take you out. So it's going about it in a really bad way. It's approaching it, doesn't work, and the intention of the approach is that it wants to take you out. But there is an inkling, an element of truth within the superego voice. So instead of trying to eradicate the superego voice, push through the superego voice, ignore and run away from the superego voice, or any of the other ways that the shame, shields, and overprotection show up, we go looking for the truth. Write that down. And the truth within the superego voice lies in the opposite. Write that down. So Christian Moore, who I think I mentioned him yesterday, an expert on resilience. So he identifies this choice point moment as a moment to flip the switch. And so what can help us access that switch? So This is where the physical comes in. This is where, again, you are identifying, I'm in a shadow, I'm in resistance, I'm in shame. I can recognize this. I saw this played out in front of me, and I know this is a choice point. And you snap, literally snap, to help yourself flip the switch. So let's all do that together. Flip the switch. Flip the switch. Flip the switch. And okay, flip the switch. And you know, it doesn't even matter if you can't access the opposite in the moment, but you just feel the feeling, like the sensation that Amy was describing, and whatever that version is for you, and you snap. And you can snap until you can access the opposite. What is it that's going on with me here? What am I feeling? What's happening? Okay, I'm hearing the superego voice. It's telling me I'm stupid, but wait a minute. The truth is in the opposite, and that is that I'm smart. Okay, I got it. And you literally have that power in your hand to flip the switch. And the snap will help you to access it. Right there. Deep breath in and let it out. This is the power of the physical, to literally trigger the mind onto a different path. Social psychologist Amy Cuddy takes this one step further. And she really has focused her life's research on how the physical impacts the mental. So how the physical can be a tangible tool for us to use, to access, to flip that switch. What she says is that our bodies change our minds. And in the changing of our minds, she says thoughts and feelings, but she also says hormones. That by using the physicality of the body, you can access cortisol and literally change your chemical makeup and experience. Our bodies have the ability to change our minds, which includes our thoughts and our feelings, but also our hormones, which is about how we respond to stress. Our minds change our behavior, and our behavior then changes our outcome. And that is our way out of resistance. So Amy Cuddy specifically speaks of what she refers to as 3 primary power poses. And that by utilizing these power poses as a core practice, that is the access to changing your mind, thoughts and feelings, hormones, how you respond to stress, then therefore your behavior, and then therefore your outcome and experience. The 3 power poses, the 3 primary power poses that she teaches is the victory pose is the first one. And in her research, she has documented that people who are born blind naturally put their arms up in the air in a V when they're experiencing a moment of pride and accomplishment. It's that innate. It's power pose number 1, the victory pose. Power pose number 2 is what she calls the alpha pose, which you spread yourself out and you put one arm up in the air and one arm on your hip. But like the spreading out part is really important. When we were going over this as a team, we sort of renamed it the cheerleader pose. But it's up to you. Alpha, cheerleader. Ooh, John Travolta's a good one too. The third power pose is the Wonder Woman. Yay. So victory, alpha, Wonder Woman. Deep breath in and let it out. The super ego voice is telling the truth. The truth is in the opposite. So we go looking for the truth. And what helps us to be able to access the truth is we flip the switch. And the physical changes the mental. And the mental thoughts, feelings, and even hormones changes our behavior. And our behavior changes our experience, which changes the outcome. And it's the beginning to how you get your power back. You are not a slave to your HSE nature. You are not a slave to your HSE shadows. You are not imprisoned by your resistance. You are not banished by your shame. Flip the switch. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.